This is my Nissan Sentra 2002 1.8 liter GXE, and I think this is what I'm going to go over is pretty much the same for all the year models around this age. I have an S also, it's the same, so I assume they're all pretty much the same. But I was going to make this video just for my own reference, and I thought I'll just make a quick video for YouTube. It might help someone. So what I'm doing is the horn's bad on the column on the steering wheel, and I don't want to mess with the airbag and everything like that. So I put a horn button, a momentary switch, I think it's like a 15 amp switch on the floor, and it's kind of nice. My left foot now has something to do. Back in anybody that's old enough remembers high beams on the floor for where your left foot was. And then I remember also starters. Starters used to be on the right side to start your car. But anyway, I don't want to digress too much on that. But what I'm going to do is I bought a kit that I already had the horns, and it's just a kit to wire them up. And you need a voltage to pull in. It's got a relay, and it's got a fuse and everything, and it's got a so you got to have some voltage to pull the relay in when you press the button. So what I'm going to do is wire it into the horn. This has a horn fuse right there. It's the second one, 10 amp. So what I'm going to do is just cut the wire, and then I'm just going to wire that into my switch, and that will be the voltage to pull in the relay that allows the 12 volts from the battery, which is fused for 30 amps, to flow to the horns. So I'm just going to make a video. I didn't want to do it on this one first, my GXE, because it's my daily driver, and I did it on my S. So I'm going to go over there and I'll show you what I found. So here's the wiring diagram, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut see the wire says GB. I guess that's gray black, gray blue, green blue, green black. I'll have to look. What I'm going to do is pull the fuse out, and then use an ohm meter, a multimeter, and see if that's a short between the fuse terminal and that's the correct wire then. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, cut the wire in half, and then I'm going to use the fuse then, the fuse linked to the battery for my primary side of the relay, and then the secondary has its own fuse with a relay. That'll be the secondary. Basically, it's just duplicating the circuit. What happened is, like I said, the switch, the column switch on the steering wheel is intermittent. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it doesn't. I don't feel like messing with the airbag. Couldn't think of it. See, that's the low side right there. You see, there's the spiral cable. That's for the so when you turn a steering wheel, it's always making a connection. And there's the rest. There's the spiral cable, and there's the horn switch on the steering center of the steering wheel, and there's the horn. So the one side, the one with the coil, that coil energizes and it pulls in the right side, the contacts, and they touch both sides, and that completes the circuit to honk the horn. To get the top off, what you do is push in and then just lift the top off. You might have to do one at a time. So I did that one, pushed it in, lifted it up. As you can see on this The horn is the second fuse down. So it's this one here, the 10 amp. You got to undo these. I'm not going to touch them because the battery's still hooked up. It's hot, but you got to undo both these screws after you take the battery out. Because you have to take the battery tray out too. So it's good to undo those two, and then this end just pops off. You have to get a screwdriver and go in there, and it's got like a ridge. The white part's got a ridge, and then the top part is a ridge too, and they interlock. And then you can pull this off, and once you pull that off, then you can pull those out after you take the screws out, or bolts. You also have to separate this from the pad for the battery. You can't really see it. I'll show you on the other one, but this sort of fits down on it. It's got two latches you got to push in, and you got to sort of seesaw it, and then it will come up. See this right here, these two, this and this one here. This here, and then this latch here, you see you got to push in, and then you just seesaw this, and it comes right off of this on the battery pan. And if you do that, you got to cut the tape on this tab, so because this won't slide down, because this goes to this. So the end cap doesn't unsnap. You have to slide it on from the bottom, and you have to cut this, which goes to this. So this wire is fixed to the bottom part on this, so you have to cut the tape on it, or you won't be able to separate them. So I popped the fuse out for the horn for testing. So I found out it's green and black. So here's the one test probe, and you can hear the audible tone. The other test probes around on the fuse. The one side of the fuse, since all the fuses are in there, the one side of the fuse is hot, so it senses on all of them, whatever you put it on. So you have to put it on the other terminal, and then it only senses the one that completes the circuit. So it's all back together. See, and even this has like a trough that fits down there, and it holds the wire, and then you got to put tape around this again, and then you got to retape the bottom too. Then you want to snap this door closed again, and you got to tape this again to the main bundle. Then this just slides down. And the tabs lock in place. And if you have one, put the plastic cover in. Or plastic insert. And then finally put the cover on the fuse box. There's my horn switch. Horn button, I guess. And then eventually I'm going to put the high beams on here. just to show you how cars have changed. This car, when I was in high school, would have been exotic. Dual overhead cam, VVT on the intake, rack and pinion steering, struts. Did I say dual overhead cam with shimmed cams? There's a couple other, well, computer controlled, and fuel injection, not to mention fuel injection, and coil on plug. I just need to get my time machine out